Okay, so it's been like roughly an hour, and I probably should have had the camera on the tripod before I started filming, but I didn't, so here we are. And I still have not picked that stuff up, so I'm very, very lazy. So, wonder if that shot made me a Quentin Tarantino type director. You know, because if he shot out. Whatever. Here we go. I'm gonna maybe just tilt this up a bit more. Time to get these out. See how they look. I'm hoping they look good. Just a second. Oh yeah. Those are actually, just look at these. These are gonna look great. Look at this. Okay, can you see that? Probably not. Camera movements are not planned in my videos. Check that out though. Now they're not done yet. But look at how beautiful that is. It's rendering beautifully. Now, I would like to point out something. And that is that you can see that we have a bit of puddling of fat going on. So why am I getting another piece of foil? Well, it's because what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll it like this. As you can see, I'm rolling it up. I think you can see it. Anyway, like that. You see that? Right there. Okay. Now, the reason I'm doing this like this, bend it a little, like that, and you can see right there that should be good in this U shape. So what we're going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? Well, I'm going to gently lift these. These should be okay to touch. Oh yeah. They're not too hot. Not too hot. Just going to lift them up. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this with the U shape facing upward. What this is going to do is going to allow us to prop them up like that. This will allow for runoff to trickle down from here on out and just drip into the bottom of the pan, as well as increasing the mylar effect I mentioned. Now I'm seeing some dry spots. So, it is a good idea at this point to mist it down. This mixture is a little bit of apple juice, some of the sauce from the bottle, liquid smoke, etc. This is to mist it down. I'm going to try not to over mist it because otherwise it will take the seasonings with it and I don't want that. But as you can see, we've got it misted down real good, like so. And with that in mind, I think they're good. Now we're going to get that into the oven. And this is going to help keep it moist. What this will do is it'll help keep the food nice and moist in the oven. So let's just get this back in the oven, and I will see you in about another 30 minutes, which should be at a good time. I'm just gonna put these back in the oven now, right here. I got this in there. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a jacket indoors, it's because the heater works for, well, here's a hint. Oh, shit. Okay. This is where I'm glad the temperature is low, because I need to lower the oven rack a bit. Otherwise, it will not fit. So we're going to look for this. Your oven makes him do this. It's not overly hot. It's not too hot that you can't do this. Ideally, you should probably plan for this ahead. Sometimes there's just no way to do that, though. So as you can see, we've lowered the oven rack. This will allow them to fit in there. Right in. Yeah, they go right in now. Okay, yep, fits right in. And what we're going to see is a nice Mylar effect to continue this. For here, I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. It needs another 2 hours. So we're going to do 4 increments of 30 minutes, and we're going to mist it every once in a while. I will see you probably on the last 30 minutes. Because oh shoot, I think I just turned the camera the wrong way. And because at that point we're going to add something that's going to give this a whole lot of deliciousness and a whole lot of flavor. In fact, I'm actually going to start on that now just to get ahead of it. And I actually did do a little bit of the dishes and stuff in between, so that's good. Anyways, we're going to use that. And I'm going to go in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple things out of the fridge. I'm going to need the, right here. This is the sauce we have. That stuff. But there's a little bit of a secret ingredient, which I'm not going to spoil for you until we get back to the stove. So, you have that. And here's the secret ingredient. This stuff makes it delicious. I'm telling you, this stuff makes it so delicious. Yeah, right there. So, you're gonna just put some of this liquidy sauce in the bowl there. All right, that should be plenty. Then, what you're gonna do is you're going to open it. So this has a little thumb push on it right here. See this? Just push on it with your thumb. It opens right up. And we're just gonna put a tiny bit of that in there. Not too much now, just a tiny bit. This has plenty of flavor. It's highly concentrated. You don't need a lot. And I have this little guy here. This is a little tiny whisk. The reason I'm using a tiny one instead of a big one is, well, let me show you. Look at that. It just quickly emulsifies in. All of that goes in. Alright? It's absolutely beautiful. You have your sauce and everything in there. It's pretty beautiful. To me, that looks absolutely beautiful in there. And is it very watery? Yes. And the reason being behind that is that we want it to be, because if it's not, this won't work right. Now, there's a little trick I like to use for this. I like to put just a small pinch of sugar, just common table sugar, but not much, just like a teeny pinch. I'm just going to put my hand in. Small pinch of sugar. Right there. Small pinch. That's all you need. Right there. Small pinch. And, yeah. Just a small pinch of sugar. And one other thing I'm going to add just for flavor. Normally I would have put this on in the beginning, but I'm trying to do a little fun experiment with this. So I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to put just in this sauce, I'm going to put a bit of 16 mesh pepper. This is Fiesta 16 mesh pepper. So just sprinkle a little of that in, and hopefully when we brush this on, we should get a nice effect from it. I'm hoping this will add a tiny bit of heat. Ideally, you should put this on at the beginning, but I'm wondering, if I do this, will the pepper flavor be less concentrated, and I'll be able to taste everything else better? That's what I'm wondering. So that's what I'm doing right now. I think this actually looks pretty decent for a sauce. But I'm maybe going to add just a touch more of this, just to give it a bit more of a reddish color. I don't know, I just like the idea of it having a bit more of a reddish color. And I might have used a bit too much of the Japanese barbecue sauce. So I just want to add a little bit of that in. Right in there. Yeah. Do that. And just kind of go in there like this. just to kind of really start to blend it in. And that'll be what we'll use. Instead of misting, we'll start basting with this stuff on the next one in about 24 minutes. So this is going to be a really long video. Probably going to have to do 3 parts instead of 2 parts. But I'm telling you, this stuff is worth it. If you mix this up real good, there ought to be plenty. It's real mixed, and that's the important part. Is that everything gets well mixed in and blended. That's why I use this little tiny whisk. If you look at this thing is actually about, here, like roughly about the size of my hand, as you can see. And this is an important tool to have. It's highly necessary, as it allows for better quality things like that. Now, since we're going to be using this to baste it rather than anything else, I might shake this sauce a bit as I think it needs it, and then try adding in a bit more. I might should have done that at the beginning. Oh wow, what's going on now, and that's what's important. So if you look at that, just put a little more of that in so we can get the pure flavors of that sauce. Alright, that looks better. This also means I'm going to even it out with a touch more of this. And I just put the whisk in the sink. I just realized that. Oh well. Sorry about that. Anyway, just a little bit more and I'll just have to use a fork. A fork will work just as good. If you can't get a tiny whisk, there's actually a good opportunity. Because I can show you that even a fork can work just as good. Check it out. Even a fork works just as good. And that is a very nice color. That's delicious. And if you're wondering what's in this particular homemade sauce, this is, once again, it has some apple juice, apple cider vinegar. It also has a little bit of brown sugar, regular sugar, Stubbs barbecue mopping sauce on there. And, yeah, that sort of thing. That makes it super delicious. It also keeps it nice and moist in the oven. So we're going to see that, we're going to see that this is going to be real good. I'm going to go get some notes that I said we'd work on at this point. Let's go get the punch and work on that. I'll be right back. Okay. It's been 30 minutes. So it's time to grab these out of the oven and we're going to have some. I'm going to get these out. Huh? Hang on. Hold that over a bit. There we go. That's good. Look at that. That is beautiful color. That is absolutely beautiful. And it's about to get even better. Because look at this. We have this beautiful mix we made. Just give that one final stir with that fork. And over the next few times, we're going to start basting with this. And it's going to develop such a beautiful, 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 beautiful flavor. Alright. So I gotta get a little brush. Right here. This is a silicone tip brush. I highly recommend these because you can see the flexibility of the bristles it contributes. Now watch, we're just gonna lightly brush, okay? And you can tell by the heat that it is actually almost immediately caramelizing on the surface. And because of the way we have it positioned, any runoff went directly into the pan. So that prevents it from being way too greasy, just like I said. So just give it a light coating of this stuff. I'm going to drop this back in. It's going to be amazing. You'll see. But I mean, look at it. We're also seeing some nice... Hold on. See, we're also seeing some nice pullback on the bones here. That's a good sign. That is what you want to see. Now, I'm not using too much of this at the moment. Just enough. I just want to baste this up real good. Doing this is going to help both keep them moist and add flavor. So, I'm thinking it's going to taste super good. They're already getting a gorgeous, gorgeous color on there. Check that out. Like, that's beautiful. It's about to get more beautiful. Like I said, just as soon as I get these back into the oven. I really do think using the sauce at the beginning was, in fact, the way to go. I wasn't sure at first, but now that I'm seeing it, looks beautiful. There we go, that's plenty. Plenty, just put it on there, good. Make sure it's well coated for the first layer. Okay, oops, hit the tripod a little bit, right there. Okay, now let's get this back into the oven. Let's put these back in. Sorry. I'll see you in another 30 minutes. And we're going to do just 2 more increments of 30 minutes. And these ought to be done. And they'll be beautiful. They'll be delicious. And above all, they'll be super, super tender. And I'm telling you. 30 more minutes. There we go. I'll see you in 30 minutes. Alright, so it's been another 30 minutes. About to get these out of the oven here. Actually, maybe I can start cutting down the video time because I realized this is going to take too long if I keep doing this. But let's have a look and get these out. And we're going to see just how well we did at this point. It's important to note that these are delicious. But also, it's important to note that at this point, you can see that they're starting to film that, like, starting to gain some classic looks of traditional barbecue, but not quite traditional because of how we're doing it. But if you look, it has gotten quite a bit more color. And, yeah, I think just one more coat before we do the rest of it ought to be plenty. One thing you can also see is that by having them tilted up or preventing any runoff, and I'm telling you, these things are going to be super, super tender, super delicious. And you can see that they're gaining a lot of colors from the sauce. They're also gaining a lot of flavors. And by constantly basting them like this, we're giving them a decent amount of flavor without needing to worry about them being too covered in sauce to eat. And I'm going to make sure I get near these bones here. You can see that the Mylar effect I mentioned, which as I mentioned is the circulation of air underneath. And you can see we're getting even more pullback on the bones. That's beautiful. That's what we want. This looks really good, honestly. That looks pretty good. It's real good. That looks good up there. Yeah, looks good. That's gonna be awesome. Check this out. You just paint them real good like this. You paint them up real good. It's like you're painting a picture of delicious flavors. I don't know how you would paint a picture of delicious flavors, but this is about as close as you can get to that. In any case, that's a clue. You can see a little bit of movement. That is a clue that it is time to stop. Get them in the oven real quick, and we'll be good. And I believe this is the 3rd increment, so just after this, it's just 30 more minutes. Then, well, they do have to rest for an additional 30. The oven just does that occasionally. I'll just tighten that later. Tighten that screw on the oven later. And it's fine. It still works. It functions. It's good. Anywho, let's get these in the oven. Alright. think we're good. We're still good. That happened before. We're still good. But you can see. You're going to see these. Okay. 25 seconds. Then we're going to take these out of the oven. 20. 9, 8, 9. I'm not even going to count. I'm just going to let the timer count. But, yeah, we're going to see these. Wait till you see how these look when I take them out of here. They're going to be delicious. They're going to be so good. Wait till you see this. Hang on a second. Move this so I can get to the oven. Good? Alright. Let's take these out. Just take a look at this beautiful, beautiful piece of meat here. Wait till you see. Wait till you all see. Now take a look at that and tell me that doesn't look absolutely delicious. You don't believe me? Hold on, take a look at that. Look at this. Just look. You touch this right there, you can tell that is beautifully tender. Just look at that. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be good. Alright, last helping. So this is just the last one. So what we can do is simply here, nicely all over. And then, what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to get a little on that back side, which I didn't before, but I can now. Anyway, or anywho, whatever. I've heard it both ways. To me, it doesn't matter. You can see how beautiful these are getting in the oven. They're gaining so much beautiful color. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Okay, so these have been well basted once more. I'm going to let them go for just another 30 minutes. And I swear to you, these will be beautiful. And then this is going to go on while they rest at the very end, so you don't need to use all of it now. In fact, you probably shouldn't. If you look at that, you're starting to see a little movement. That's okay. That means it's time to get them back in for their final time in the oven. But first, or as the mask would probably say, but first, I should do impressions for a living. Anyways, yeah, I just watched that movie. It was hilarious. You know what my favorite part was? I think my favorite part was when you hear Stanley go, "All right, Mrs. Peeman." I can relate. My landlord hates me. Dear God, I'm like a female version of Stanley Ipkiss. What's the, sort of anyway, what's the female equivalent of the word Stan? I'm probably not really, but I live in a similar situation. I was going to reference a certain character, but I decided not to so Disney doesn't try to sue me. You can guess who that was going to be. Anyhow, these are nicely, you can see these are all real nicely spread outly coated now. Did I just say spread outly? The hell does that mean? Anyway, let's get this back into that oven and watch it finish for the last 30 minutes. No, we'll finish it with the remainder of that sauce at the end. But here's a little trick I'm gonna pull. Check this out. You guys ready for this? Because I just realized something. Before we put them back in, there's a little trick we have to use for the last 30 minutes. Wrong button. Here we go. We're gonna turn this up to exactly 400 degrees, okay? It's for the last 30. Or no, wait, not 400. My mistake. Not 400. My mistake. Don't do that. It's 375, not 400. My bad. Whoopsies. I forgot. Hang on. I'm gonna go open something. And I'm gonna have a little drink with you. I'm sipping this glass over here. I just gotta put something in it. Ain't nobody need to see that on camera, though. I'd rather not so I don't get demonetized. But I'm just adding a little of this to it to hopefully dilute it a little bit. It is very, very strong. And I have a good feeling about tonight, really. I'm gonna be real with you for a minute. Like, a few days ago, I tried the gin and soda stuff, and, well, let's just say I wouldn't recommend it. let's just say the end result was a painful one. Up in the head, if you get my meaning. Anyways, check this out. Filled it up nice. Nice in this case meaning no ice. Nice means no ice. That should be a saying in bars. Anyhow, drink this with you. Yeah, I used so little that time, I was able to drink the whole thing now on that one. I wouldn't recommend attempting that on a half and half, but if you're doing like what I did, which is about 5 ounces to a full can, it ought to be fine. You do not have to use the particular glass I'm using though. In fact, I have many. This is just the one I'm using at the moment. Now, once again, tomorrow I will be doing the pot roast video, I promised y'all. But I had to do these tonight because, like, this is the first time I've ever gotten these in prime. Yeah, sorry, not sorry about that. But anyway, these are the ones I got it in prime. What? I had soda. It's gonna happen. Anyway, check this. This one's gonna go on the soda. I can't even talk. This one's gonna go on the pot roast tomorrow. It's gonna be delicious. You guys are gonna love it. You know, I briefly debated using that or this on these, but I ultimately decided to go with this. I think that might have been the right choice. In fact, now I'm just probably gonna have some straight soda for now. I guess that's a funny term to use. You can figure that one out. I was doing some straight soda this time. Still makes me laugh to use that term in my case. You know, speaking of that, even though I'm not implying this, you know what I have to say about, like, this one guy I saw on the news? Well, he was like, I am a straight arrow. And I'm like, your arrow's as straight as a hedge maze. You dumb fuck. I'm probably gonna bleep that last, who gives a shit? I'm not even gonna bleep it. Who cares? I'm probably never gonna get monetized anyway. Who cares? I'm just doing this for me anyways. It'll be fun though. Again, I'm gonna drink a whole thing of this. This is just soda this time. Yeah, I needed that. Damn, this is taking forever. I'll see you guys when it's preheated. They're almost back in. Got them back in the oven though. I got them back in though. Ah, shit. Was it recording? I couldn't tell if it was recording. Sorry. Not sorry. Apparently my camera battery was low. Alright guys, it's on the last 30. It's over. The last 30 is over, I mean. So we're about to get these out. And I'm thinking they're gonna look amazing. We're about to see though, so let's get ready. You ready? I'm gonna show you the new toy. But I think I'll just do that during the pot roast video because I know that these are done at this point. Alright, let's have a look at these first. Let's look at that beautiful, 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 beautiful bark they formed. Alright, time to do the big thing here. We're about to do something cool. Watch this. I'm about to just, well, first things first. Remove this, anything on there, right there. Alright, time to remove the oil from behind it. Watch this. Ah! There we go. Look at that. Just fell right there. Maybe use a glove if you're going to do that, which is what I should have done. Anyhow. Alright, last step. Last step. Alright, you ready? Just put on this base coat. And then, look at that. Just pour that all over the top. Okay? This is the very last step. Alright. Last step. Make sure you get it even on all sides. That's important for a nice even coating. Okay. I'm even going to get a little on the bones because why not? But you can see the beautiful, beautiful pullback we got on these bones here. Just look at them. I'm going to get a little flavor on those because I like to do that. For no other reason than I like it. Alright, so that's good right there. You see that? That's delicious. Look at that beautiful. These are beautifully pulling back on either side. This is exactly what you want. The last step does not need this foil U. Which as you can see, since this was behind them, it was holding them up. So when we put it down like that, they just fell right into place. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to switch this over to the broil function on, we're going to do, I only have 2 settings, so I'm going to do, low so I don't burn them. And, this is going to go in for just 6 final minutes. And then they'll be beautifully, beautifully done, and this long-ass video will be done. Man, this took forever. But you guys, it's totally worth it. I promise you that you will not regret making these if you make them. Okay. Getting them in. Yep, I'm keeping them kind of reasonably far from the burner so that they don't burn. And also, during this time, I'm going to have this slightly open. This is important to note. You don't want it when you're broiling. Look, let me show you. You don't want to have the oven closed like all the way, like so. That should be plenty. 6 minutes, and they'll be done. Roughly 6 minutes, so we're going to keep an eye on them. Because once that caramelizes, it's pretty much done. So I'm going to keep an eye on them, and when they're definitely caramelized, we'll pull those out of the oven, and they'll be ready to rest, because they have to rest for one more increment of at least 20 minutes, 20 to 10 minutes. I'm going to do probably 20. I think that'll be plenty. Possibly just 10, but for these I'm not going to chance it, and I'm going to do 20. Or half, it depends. I think probably 10 is fine. We'll see. Alright, see you in a minute. Or whenever they're, caramelized. Okay, so it's at this point in time we're going to call them done, and it took about half what I was expecting, but that's the thing, is different ovens work different ways. And these should be good by now. Let's get them out. Oh yeah, those are beautiful. Look at those. They're absolutely beautiful. Alright. Okay, now the reason I didn't let the sauce fully get all, cooked on is because, once again, these have to rest for, 10 minutes. And I wanted some of the sauce, this here, that I'm spreading over it, which is still on it here. The reason I did that was I wanted some of it to naturally cool, over the top. Because what I'm theorizing that's going to do is it's going to allow the flavors to really get in and to really caramelize proper, because it will be a little sticky, and that's what I want. I want these to be slightly sticky. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. So I'm just spreading around what was on it there. And you can see that now, I guess. But, yeah, essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to spread whatever didn't caramelize around, because these have to rest now for 10 minutes. And what's going to happen is that sauce is going to get nice and sticky then. Now, what's going to happen is while these rest for 10 minutes, I think I landed on 10. This sauce that I did not let caramelize all the way because I only wanted it to partially caramelize just so it'd be hot and a little bit sticky. Because what I'm aiming to do is have these now have a nice sticky sauce on the outside, which they're going to get, and you can see that there, you see? These are going to get real sticky in 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, we're going to see you again in just 10 minutes. Real sticky. And check this. Watch when I cut in this. You can see one of the bones here got a little crooked, so be careful, be mindful. That will happen. What you're going to want to do is just find your grain like that, okay? I found my grain here, and I just cut into this edge, and I just cut it like that, so you can see this. It's going to be delicious. Now there should be a tiny bit of red in them, because if not, that'll likely mean that they're overcooked. As you can see, I'm trying to find where the grain's at. Probably ought to have these on their back, but there we go. I got them. These are not usually difficult to cut, it's just there's a membrane on the bottom, which is slightly difficult. But, as you can see, they're real good. Look at this. I'm just going to cut this last one. Would you believe that this is only 3 ribs? Because it is. This whole thing is only 3 ribs. That means this big giant piece here is all 1 rib. That's beautiful, but hold on, because we're about to show you these. Take a look. OMG. These are amazing. Yeah. I'm so happy that these turned out the way they did, but get a little bone off there. There's a little bone on the end. That's okay. Just take a look at this. Look at this beautiful meat. Here's a piece of meat from them that's just pure deliciousness. Just have a look at this. Look at that. It looks like a brisket almost, but it's not. It's part of a rib, but this is just beautiful. Look at that. We even got a little bit of a smoke ring on there. Take a look. Looks like you can kind of see a bit of a smoke ring towards the top. Look at this meat. It's just tender. Look, when you bite into it, that's perfect. Oh my god. Oh. I got it. This is a private moment. Anyhow, you guys have got to try these, because I mean, just look at the beautiful pullback on the bones here. The beautiful meat. Like, I'm telling you. This is heaven right here. That sauce we used worked wonders. The rub is perfect. They even have a little bit of a smoky flavor. It's delicious. You guys gotta make these. I'm gonna go eat them. You guys have a great evening, and I'll show you the punch when we're all done. Alright, bye-bye.